In this session, we are going to write a program that asks the user to enter today's sales for 5 stores. The program should display a bar chart comparing each store's sales. Create each bar in the bar chart by displaying a row of asterisks. Each asterisk should represent $100 of sales. Here's an example. So you have entered today's sales for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the sales bar chart, you will show store 1 has 10 asterisk because it has 1000, and store 2 has 12 asterisk because they have 1200, and so on and so forth. So let's go back to the programming process. We have already defined what this program is to do. It should receive sales for 5 stores and display a bar chart. And even the question even give us the visualization we should have. So our next step is to use design tools to create a model of the program. The first step will be get the sales for 5 stores. Assuming this will be in, you can use double or you can use int. In our particular case, it looks like int is a good selection. So we have sales 1, sales 2, sales 3, sales 4, and sales 5. The next step is we are going to print sales bar chart. Right? Once you print this, you will print sales chart for store 1, which will include, and I think I probably need to say it's a print line, to be different of print store 1 followed by print x number of asterisk, and this x will be sales 1 divided by 100. And we will repeat this process for store 2. Store 2, sales 2, then 3, 3, and 3, 4, 4, and 4, 5, 5, and 5. Oops. So the question then becomes, how do we print this number of stars? Apparently, this is a repetitive work that we are going to have a counter. How many stars have we print? We print 1, 2, 3, 4, and the number will be sales divided by 100, right? So we can rewrite this logic into a for loop. For 1, 2, print 1 star. For each integer between 1 to sales divided by 100, print a star. So we are going to replace this logic to, this will be 2, and followed by 3, followed by 4, and followed by 5. So this will be the logic. Now let's bring up Eclipse and create our sample question of sales bar chart. And again, once you are entered in the new class, you will do public static void main with string array args, and adding the Java doc comment. Let's copy the Java the question here first. Add some indentation here. And once it's done, add java.comment for main and copy the pseudocode over. Okay. Some of them we can direct convert, like this print line. It will be system.out.println and for input cells, we will have integer cells 1 equals to, so we apparently need to get more information on input, right? So if we need to create scanner first, and then get next integer. So this will be enter cells 1. Please enter cells. What was the question? What was the enter today's cells for store 1? So this is store 1. Then we shall have store 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have 5 cells, then we will print store 1. And similarly, we will do print store 2. And print store 3. Print store 4. Print store 5. Then we will do a for initialization int I equals to 1, right? Starting from I equals to 1, then where I less than or equal to. Less than or equal to will make sure, because this one starts at 1, less than or equal to will give us the right amount of time of count and I++. And then we will do a system print star. And once we finish printing all the stars, we also need to add a blank line afterwards. So we will add a print line. So this is the sales chart for store 1, and we will do the same thing for store 2. Just that changing, I don't need this. Just changing this to 2. And I'm going to copy this over. Changing this to 3. Changing this to 4. And changing this to 5. So let's run it now. It's going to ask me the cells for first, for store 1. I'll put 1,000, then 1,200, then 1,800, then 800, and 1,900. So now this is the result we are expecting. So the question itself is simple. You just use a for loop to repetitively print out the star for each cells. But as I go through this, I'm sure you are thinking, is there an easier way of doing this? Instead of repeating this same code, basically same, except for one thing, instead of repeating this for 5 times, is there a way that I can reuse the code for 5 times? And instead of using cells 1, 2, 3 again and again, is there a way I can define a series of variables in one batch? The answer is yes and yes. There are ways to reuse the code, which is called method that we will cover in the future session. There are ways to group similar variables together, which is called array. We will come back to this question again when we touch these concepts.